Ladies and gentlemen, children of the interwebs, Sebastian Envy, strong style, nerd, strong style, cinephile, and Krypton is back for season 2. Let's geek about that for a few minutes. Now, full disclosure on Krypton, when I first heard the premise of it, a show that takes place 200 years before the birth of Kal-El and subsequent destruction of Krypton, that focused on his grandfather, Seg-El, who fights to redeem his family's honor and save his world. It's a mouthful, right? I thought the show was going to be stupid. Of course, I'm a little bit biased because, as I've said in so many videos so far, I'm tired of bats, I'm tired of soups. There are so many other characters who deserve some shine, some time in the spotlight, but I'm also a sucker for a comic book related TV show, so I gave it a whirl. Now, after a couple of episodes, I found myself drawn in and entertained by the story. The rebelliousness of Seg-El against the oppressive regime in charge, the inclusion of Adam Strange from the future who's trying to prevent it from being rewritten by a time-traveling General Zod. The political side of things even, it all blends together to become a darn good TV show. The shorter episode count of the first season definitely went a long way. Less chances of filler, and I really don't think there's any real filler at all, which is good. Season 2 picks up months after the events of the finale that saw Seg get pulled into the Phantom Zone with Brainiac and General Zod ruling over Krypton with a plan to expand to and conquer other planets in the universe. Lyta Zod works at the side of her son and works to find where the rebellion leaders and Doomsday are. She also asks about her mother since her body was not located. She oversees the torture and mental reconfiguration of captured citizens. And I was really trying to discern in those scenes whether or not her heart was all the way into this. I mean, I reckon that she isn't. She seems to have a good heart, but she's definitely someone who will follow through with their duty, even if it presents some conflicts to her heart. Speaking of her heart, she's operating on the idea that Seg is dead, which could be giving her more free rein to follow the ill stuff her father's doing in his efforts to control the populace and to expand his control. Now, meanwhile, rebellion continues. Things hit a snag when Nyssa Vex, who we found out last season is a clone, seeks answers from her father. The meeting was a setup, and Nyssa is captured and her baby held hostage by Zod. Unless she gives up the rebellion, then Zod will keep the baby and raise it as his own. Now, in the Phantom Zone, Brainiac uses visions of Seg's grandfather to get him to open up a pathway for them out of the zone and to Brainiac's home planet. The two seem to forge an alliance to get back to Krypton, knowing that they will turn on each other at the first opportunity. Now, after the shocking sight of Brainiac getting Negan'd by Seg, the two were knocked out and captured by Lobo. Yeah, Lobo. It was a good episode that picked up right where the finale left off. High points of interest for me coming out of the episode and going forth are with Colin Salmon's General Zod character. I was reading an interview with the actor and he said that basically the kid gloves are off with Zod this season. There's no need for him to pretend who he is and who he's not and what his intentions are. Salmon also noted more training and said Zod is going to get more physical this season, so I'm curious as to see who against whom. Lyta Zod and her story is a high point for me, as I'm curious to see, because as I said earlier, she and her father are working hand in hand. Will she end up turning against Zod, seeing what kind of ruler he is, or will she become even more cold and callous just like him? Now, in the early part of the episode, in the Phantom Zone, we saw an image of Zod choking out Lyta. Brainiac said that vision was not his doing and noted it could have been a vision from a future time. Will it come to be? And while it may be a test tube baby, Nyssa is carrying around Seg's baby, so how will that story play out? How will it influence Seg and who he ends up with? We know he still carries a torch for Lyta, and they have to knock boots again at some point for General Zod to be conceived, but he also seems to have something with Nyssa, like a spark there, who we know genuinely has a thing for Seg. Now, Lobo was mentioned early on in the details when they started to come out about Season 2, and his inclusion immediately prompted some excitement for fans of the character. I have no dog in the fight with Lobo. Not a fan of his comics. I've enjoyed when he has showed up, in the cartoons, and I do want to get his Collect and Connect action figure. Seems like a good one. I just want a good character and a good addition to the story. He's played by Emmett J. Scanlon, who from facial makeup and an attitude standpoint certainly makes for a good Lobo. Physically, there's a lot to be desired given the typical comic book depictions of him. We'll see how things go in the second season and just how big a role he will play. We already know he's going to get his own spin-off series. Yep. Before he was even on screen for Season 2, things were already in motion for him to get his own show. Krypton executive producer and writer Cameron Welsh will also produce and write the Lobo spin-off series, which will put the foul-mouthed, dangerous, irascible intergalactic bounty hunter front and center, according to an announcement. Lobo on the page is a broad character, and the tone of our show is so grounded, so it feels like a bit of a mismatch, but that's kind of what's exciting about it as well, Welsh told Sci-Fi Wire last summer at San Diego Comic-Con. He's not going to ride around on space dolphins like he did in the comics, but he's meant to feel like a contrast to everything else we've seen. Now that sounds okay, I suppose, though I cringe. I just cringe at the word grounded. I hate when that buzzword is thrown out to describe anything. Like nothing about comic books and comic book movies and TV shows is grounded and realistic? Nothing. So why be worried about that? Just worry about whether the character and his or her story fit within the world that you are building. Just make it good. And Krypton is good. The season premiere was a good way to kick off the second season, gave us several questions to mull over until next week's episode. I'm interested, I'm invested, and I'm excited to see what's coming. Definitely. But those are some of my thoughts on it. More importantly, what do you guys out there think about Krypton Season 2? What do you think about Lobo? What do you think about Lobo getting his own series already? At least I imagine, I don't think it's been approved, it's been given the green light to series. I imagine it'll pilot will get shot and that sort of thing. But I guess if he's playing a main villain in Season 2 of Krypton, that serves as a longer extended pilot. So does he really need one? Maybe not. We'll see how it goes with the ratings of Krypton in its second season and the response from Lobo going forth. Anyway, social media is down there below. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, hit me up there, talk to me there, talk to me here about Krypton, about so many other things going on TV-wise. Still got to get a video out about Swamp Thing and its demise, as well as the Justice League Dark movie that wasn't, the fate of the DC Universe subscription service as a whole. People are, connected to it are saying that nobody needs to worry about the service going away, that they've still got other projects and things planned and stuff like that. Do we actually believe them, or do we think that the service is going to get absorbed into Warner's streaming service that they're going to do following this, merger, AT&T Time Warner merger thing going on? So I'm hoping the app continues because I like it. I enjoy using it, but we'll see. Maybe it goes away and I just have however many months to go in a mad dash to kind of rewatch all the shows and movies that are on there that I enjoy and read all the stuff I can while it's still there, because I don't have to pay for yet another streaming service. But anyway, let's geek.